Hey, so we got some pretty devastating, sad news to talk about today, folks. Some news that is definitely going to end up affecting a lot of people. Of course, I'm referring to the government shutdown that happened last night. And also, Dragon Ball Super is ending in March. Now, I intentionally delayed posting this video because when this news first hit the web, you can imagine, emotions were high. It was chaos all over the place. I think there was a lot of misinformation. People really didn't know what the announcement meant. And so now I'm here just sort of like, a little bit more level-headed, a little bit more calm to talk about what it means and just give you everything that's out there in just one video so that you can sort of assimilate what's going to happen. Now, before I get into that, I don't want to say that I told you so. I don't want to say I warned you that this would happen because that's really not my credit to take. All I did was that I posted a video on January 7th. I posted a video talking about the possibility of Super going on hiatus. And this was not based on any personal information that I had. It was a rumor that I had seen floating around online. If you don't believe me, you can check out the video. The video is called Dragon Ball Super 123 to reveal Vegeta's new form and possible major news. That's what the video is called. So I foreshadowed this. But again, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't like my information. I was just reporting what I thought the rumor was saying, and I felt like at that time the rumor had enough evidence to support the claim that it was making, so I just talked about it in the video. Now let's take a good look at what the news actually says, what the official statement actually is. And this is all thanks to Herms on Twitter. So the statement says, "Thanks for always supporting us. The TV series Dragon Ball Super's Universe Survival Arc finally reaches its climax at the end of March. So please support us to the end." So they're actually using the word end in that sentence, which kind of implies that it's probably not a hiatus, but that it's actually Dragon Ball Super is truly ending. There's also a movie this December too. I want you to pay attention to how it says support us up until the end of March. It says pretty much like, please support us up until March, and then there's a movie in December. So between March and December, there's going to be a gap of Dragon Ball Super content. I think that's pretty much implied in the tweet. And then finally it says the Dragon Ball series will continue on, so look forward to it. And later Herms clarified the fact that when they say Dragon Ball series, usually in that context it means Dragon Ball franchise. So if you can just substitute the word series for franchise, the final sentence would read, the Dragon Ball franchise will continue on. So the property will continue, the property will move on because it obviously generates a lot of money through merchandise, video games, movies even, all that stuff. But the anime, Dragon Ball Super, the anime, is set to end. For people in the Western Hemisphere, the final episode of Dragon Ball Super will air the night of March 24th. That's a Saturday, and it'll be episode 131. So the Saturday after March 24th, that's when Dragon Ball Super loses its time slot and it gets replaced by an anime called Kitaro. Now, if you do the math, you'll notice that there are 10 weeks from today, up until March 24th, which would normally mean that we have 10 episodes of Dragon Ball Super, right? Unfortunately, that is not the case because in 2 of those 10 Saturdays that we have left, we will not be getting Dragon Ball Super episodes. So they're going to be using 2 Saturdays to transmit a marathon, I believe. So we won't get Dragon Ball Super in 2 out of those 10 Saturdays, which means that, well, by the way, those Saturdays I believe are February 24th and March 10th, if I'm not mistaken. So what this means is that we literally, counting tonight's episode, we literally just have 8 episodes of Dragon Ball Super left. Now, my question to you is, do you think that 8 episodes is enough time for the series to wrap up everything that it's been setting up until this point and leave us with a satisfying conclusion? Personally, I don't think so. I'm being 100% honest with you guys. If we end in 8 episodes, I feel like there will be so much material left unexplored. I wanted to see more of the world building aspect. There are gods of destruction that we have literally very little information on. We know nothing about some of the other universes that didn't even participate in this Tournament of Power. I wanted to see more about the angels, the Daishinkan. Some people were speculating that the Daishinkan was the real villain of this arc. I want to see more about that. I wanted Goku to get rematches with a Beerus rematch, a Hit rematch, okay? Because if you think about it, like Goku hasn't had a really clear win, a very clear, serious win since the beginning of Super. He couldn't beat Beerus, he couldn't beat Hit, couldn't beat Samasu. He's struggling against Jiren, so I guess the way that they could sort of like make up for that is if they give Goku the win against Jiren. But even then, my biggest concern is it going to be rushed? That's my biggest concern. Because it seems like we're on that train, folks. It seems like we're on the train to Rushville, Tennessee. To the point where we don't even know what Jiren's goal is. What's his dream? What's his wish? What's his motivation as a character? It's going to end in 8 episodes, so... Now another very common question is this truly the end, or is this just a hiatus? And the short answer is, it's the end for now. I think that's the best way to put it, considering everything that I've read. Herms even translated an interview in which Fuji TV pretty much states that as of right now, there are no plans for a sequel. And if they do have plans, they'll announce it in due time. But as of right now, beyond the movie that comes out in December, I don't think they have any plans for Dragon Ball Super related content moving forward. And in my opinion, if they do have something planned for the Dragon Ball franchise to continue in anime form, it'll probably come back under another name. I don't think it'll become like Dragon Ball Super again. It'll just be like Dragon Ball X and Y or something new. Now, to be a little bit more optimistic, one of the reasons for why people thought that Dragon Ball Super, the anime, would eventually stop is because they would need the animators to focus on producing the movie, on making the movie. So once the movie is done, it could be possible that the animators return to their standard jobs and stuff and just go back to making more Dragon Ball anime on a weekly basis. So it could be a publicity thing where they're not saying that they have plans to continue the anime, because think about it, what gets you at the edge of your seat? What gets you more invested in the show? The fact that somebody says, oh, this is the finale, or if they were to say, it's a hiatus, we're taking a break, you get more people to watch those final 8 episodes of the show, even though you don't really need it because a lot of people watch the show already. But you get more people invested if you say, "Oh, we don't know if it's going to continue, so you better watch out. You better watch these episodes for sure." So that's just me being optimistic, though. Now, surprisingly, this is not the first time that I've kind of been a part of a phenomenon like this, in which they announced that this major series is coming to an end. I remember actually. It's almost like they did the same thing that they did with Naruto, the manga. Because I remember we were following Naruto, the manga, on a weekly basis. And then they announced, they gave us this preview to a new movie. It was called Naruto The Last. And everybody was excited because it was a new Naruto movie. And look at his hair. Is there going to be a new time skip and stuff? So there was a lot of excitement. Kind of like the same thing that happened last month when they announced that there was going to be a new Dragon Ball movie. And then all of a sudden, after we got that preview, a couple of months down the road, I think, they suddenly announced that Naruto, the manga, was going to end. That it was going to end in, I think it was less than a month, or a month, more or less. It's like, yeah, you got a couple of chapters, and then that's it. That's the end of Naruto's story. So it was kind of like, the first impression was like, yeah, I'm so hyped and stuff. And then it's like, oh, this is ending. So it could very well be that the movie that we're going to get in December is going to sort of cover, or at least address, some of the things that the anime didn't get to address. Kind of like an additional thing. I know, for example, Vegeta has been wanting to visit Kaba's planet, so that may be the setting for the movie right there. Now here's the thing. This is sad news, I think, for a lot of fans. But also, I mean, as a YouTuber myself, I think I've noticed that during the past couple of years, especially during the Champa arc, there's been this boom, this economic boom of channels that have dedicated themselves just primarily and almost entirely to covering Dragon Ball Super content. So I can only imagine how scary it must be for channels like them. I mean, because literally for those channels, it's kind of like you just announced that the stock market is about to crash. And so, talking from experience, because I've already been through a wave like this before, I think what's going to happen to these channels, what they could do, I guess, is one of two things. They can either ride this wave out, just ride it out for all it's worth. So keep covering Dragon Ball Super. Actually, cover it more now because it's like the final peak. And what could happen after the wave kind of like, you know, comes to a close or comes to an end is that they can stick to doing news. It's basically what happens to the Star Wars channels, essentially, where it's like every year they stick to doing news about the movies, and then when the movies come out, it's like this big huge jump, this peak again. They can ride the wave again. That's one option. And then the other option is that you diversify and you start covering other things that you enjoy, that you like talking about. But you have to start doing it now. You know, so in other words, you find another wave, if that makes sense. I think those two ways are the best ways to handle an event like this if you're a YouTuber. I'm just like sharing what I know. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You know, this month has been full of like very, very abrupt and sort of like life-altering changes. You know, I lost my dream. I realized that I had a fake dream. Okay, so my dream wasn't fake, but it was based off of like something that wasn't real. It was an illusion. It was based on a facade, if you will. So that was disappointing, and you can watch that video if you would like to find out what I mean. And then my father got sick, so this sense of security that I had about my family being healthy was also proven false all of a sudden. So that was scary, and now I don't even have Dragon Ball Super. So, changes. I feel like there's something that you want to tell me by making all of this happen at the same time. Is there? Hello? Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys tonight for the review. And please let me know your thoughts and reaction to the news down in the comment section. Thanks again for your support. Bye.